What's going on, everyone? Sports back with another video, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about Kenny Golladay. As Kenny Galladay's finally caught his first touchdown pass as a New York Giant, and he actually had a good game on Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles with Davis Webb throwing him footballs. Now, imagine that were Daniel Jones throwing him footballs, how much better he would be. But hopefully, this is the start of something for Kenny Golladay. He didn't have a lot of catches, but he had 7 targets, and he didn't drop a ball. So, he was really defended well, and the Eagles kept close attention to him. So he's obviously a difference maker, and he's a guy that scares defenses still. So it's very interesting. And Kenny Golladay just caught 2 passes, like I said, for 30 yards and a touchdown. But I think you could certainly make the argument that if Kenny Golladay should play in the playoffs, and I think he should get some snaps, at least in the red zone. Where down there it's tougher to score touchdowns, and a big body guy would be really helpful. And I do think that this performance will get Kenny Golladay some playing time. I think that's entirely possible. The media asked Brian Daboll, and he said, "We'll see. I don't know." But that was Monday when there's still 6 days to plan and prepare for. Of course, the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll see how the Giants approach this in terms of their wide receiver room and whether or not Kenny Golladay is involved in the game plan for Sunday, of course, as the Giants got the Vikings at that 4:30 Sunday time slot, where Kirk Cousins is not a good playoff quarterback and he is not a good player in that 4:30 slot. So the Giants kind of getting the benefit of the doubt there if history repeats itself. But, of course, you can't go along that, path of what history's done, because this is a whole new game. And I think the Giants match up well with the Vikings, but we'll get into that later in this week. I think this is the best possible matchup for the Giants, and I think we could actually win this game. But in terms of Kenny Golladay, I'm going to make the bold prediction that if Kenny Golladay gets snaps and he gets playing time and he is a playoff contributor, I think he could be back next season. Just given the fact that if he's cut by the Giants, which is like right now a 99% possibility, that'll be a post-June 1st cut, right? And now you're looking at where everything lines up. March is free agency and April is the draft. And if the Giants really can't get a good wide receiver by June 1st when Kenny Golladay is cut, because the Giants save double by cutting him then, maybe they keep him at that point. Now, of course, this is all a long shot to happen, given that Kenny Golladay may not even see the field, and given that he and Daniel Jones probably won't have a very good, connection and very good chemistry. But, if the chemistry is there and Kenny Golladay can play and he is a playoff contributor, and he goes for, 70 yards and 6 catches in this game against Minnesota, and then he's a big reason the Giants win the game, this football game, and then the Giants move on the next week and he has another good game. Is it possible that Kenny Golladay is back with the Giants? I'm going to say yes. I don't think it's entirely out of the question for Kenny Golladay to be cut if he's able to contribute in the playoffs. Now, of course, like I said, we don't even know if he's going to get snaps. But if he does get snaps and he does play well, I think Kenny Golladay, he's proven that he's a top 10 wide receiver in this league when he's healthy and when he's on the field. There's no question about that. The only question you have to ask yourself is he worth that $12 or $13 million that you could possibly save by cutting him after June 1st? And even that, but, you kind of need to see where your team's at in terms of your wide receiver room, right? Because by then we will have an idea, and we'll probably have pretty much our entire team built by then. Your wide receivers will, be pretty known and set in stone. And if, the Giants really don't have much to it, and they're able to, kind of hold that money, for at least one more year, I certainly think Golladay could be back. Now, like I said, he needs to get on the field in the playoffs, and he needs to contribute for this to even be a possibility. But I'm going to go as far as saying and making the bold prediction that I think if Golladay contributes and the Giants win at least a game and he contributes in both games, I think that he could be back. But we'll see. That's if the Giants don't really add much to that wide receiver room. We probably are going to lose Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, so that would leave the Giants extremely thin. Richie James is even a free agent. So right now the Giants have Wan'Dale Robinson and Isaiah Hodgins really right now going into next season. Looking at it from this end of things with what's currently under contract and Kenny Golladay. And if the Giants only sign one wide receiver, trade, or draft one wide receiver that's capable of playing right out of the gate, maybe Galladay's back. I certainly think that that's a possibility. It's a long shot though, and he needs to start off. He needs to, if he wants to have those conversations, he's going to need to have a good playoff run here, and he's going to have to contribute. Now, I'm absolutely rooting for Kenny Golladay. I've liked Golladay since he's been here. I think it's been tough sledding between last year with Jason Garrett, to this year when he just had that rough game and he couldn't catch footballs and, he just wouldn't get a shot at it. I feel for him. I think, did he deserve another chance? It's tough to say because other guys are outperforming him, but I am rooting for Golladay. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good teammate. You see that when he scored that touchdown, the entire bench erupted. They erupted. They were extremely happy and proud for their guy. So, obviously he's a well-respected guy, and a lot of people like him. So, absolutely that means he's a good teammate, and that absolutely means no matter what, even if he was bad, he was, not liked, I would still root for him. He wears the New York Giants uniform, so I'll always root for him. But I really like Kenny Golladay, and I hope he's able to contribute in the playoffs. I hope that if he gets snaps, I'm hoping that he'll be able to use them and really take off and give himself a shot and an opportunity to be back here in New York next season. But we'll see what happens. But can Kenny Golladay, can he be a playoff contributor? We'll see. I think he's got to get snaps. And if he can get snaps, right now I think he's in the right state of mind to play football. And I think this was a huge boost, making that great grab. That was a great catch of the year for the Giants. So I think it's a starting point for Golladay. I think he's going to hopefully take off. And hopefully if he's able to get snaps, he can make the best of his opportunities. We'll see what ultimately happens here. I'm rooting for Kenny Golladay, and hopefully he's able to prove everyone wrong and be able to stay here in New York next year. That would be great because that means we're getting a top 10 wide receiver without having to give up anything. But guys, that is all I got in this video. You guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on Kenny Golladay. Do you think he will get a shot to contribute in the playoffs? And if so, and if he performs, would you keep him next season? What would you do? Obviously, that would take some restructures, but if he's able to contribute in the playoffs and make the best of his opportunities, what do you do with him this offseason? Like I said, I would keep him, of course, restructuring some things and, figuring stuff out. But let me know that good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned for the upcoming playoff content and all the content across all sports. That's all I got in this video. And as always, let's go Giants.